Let's fucking go again. 2 weeks in a row. Let's go. The NFC East is playing some good football right now. Are we not? We just took out the Seahawks, the Giants did, and now we go out and beat the undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, I sat here and I watched the Steelers play the Ravens a week ago or whatever, and I was like, man, if they play like that versus us, that's a wrap. We got that. And I told my buddy who's a Ravens fan, I told him that. He was like, no, I don't see that happening. It's like, man, if they play like that, again, how they played you, if they play us like that, we can win. That's a winnable game. Now, man, who did I tell you was my guy, man? Who did I come up here and sit here and rave about over and over and over and tell you might even have a better career than Chase Young? Who? Who did I say I want to get a jersey of? Montez Sweat. Man, I told you. That's a killer out there on the football field. I know one when I see one. I know it. When we drafted Dwayne Haskins, I was at my buddy's house who's a Ravens fan, and we drafted Dwayne Haskins, and I was like, oh, man, whatever, we needed a quarterback, this, that. But when we moved back up in the first round and got Montez Sweat, I was jumping up and down, literally. I was like, that's who I wanted the entire time. I wanted Montez Sweat, and now you're getting to see what our defense is like. Chase Young and Montez Sweat are going to be killing the NFL for a long time. Tim Settle, Deron Payne. That's one thing. When we drafted Deron Payne, I wasn't the biggest fan. I mean, I liked the guy. He's a solid player, but I didn't know if he had that number one first round talent. But the one thing I did say about him watching his film over and over, he always gets his hands up. And yet again in this game, he gets his hands up and helps us out there. Chase Young with a bunch of effort. We stopped these boys 6 times in a row on the 1 yard line. That's defense. Our defense is finally coming together. We're finally playing the way we want to see our defense play. Now, I was real worried about Kendall Fuller in this game. I was real worried. I was at the point where I was like, hey, man, the guy's that much of a lie. They're attacking him. You might want to take him out of the game. But, I mean, obviously, we probably wouldn't do that because Kendall Fuller's entire career, he's always like the bend but don't break type of guy. He will always come back and make a play. But I was real worried there for a minute. And Alex Smith out here bleeding out his goddamn leg like a freaking soldier out here. Just didn't give a shit. Didn't even sit here and pay attention to it. Probably because it's so damn cold out there. He probably didn't even notice what was going on. But man, what a killer, man. As much shit as I want to give Alex Smith, and it's so hard to sit here and watch him in the pocket just with happy feet, looking to get rid of the ball so fast, and it's hard to sit here and watch. And as much as I want to sit here and just sit here and say something about it, what can you say? The man's out here winning. He wins games, and like I said, I've always been a huge fan of Alex Smith. His play with the Washington football team hasn't wowed me, but how are you not wowed by the last 2 games out here, man? The guy is a tough SOB, man. We all know he shouldn't even be out here. J.J. Watt's the one that went out there and broke his leg, and then we got his little brother out here trying to do the same thing in T.J. Watt, which he's a bad mother effer too, man. And I don't understand. Whenever I watch T.J. Watt, I'm like, how did nobody draft this guy? How did you? Oh, you're telling me J.J. Watt's brother is coming into the NFL? I think we had a chance to draft him. I think other people had a chance to draft him, and he fell down the board. How do you not draft T.J. Watt? And now look at him out here killing the game. But man, Cam Sims with the one-handed catch. Right then and there, I knew it. I'll sit here and I'll show you. I will show you. I knew we had the game. I knew it. And I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this, but my brother-in-law, who's a Ravens fan, all the Ravens fans wanted us to win. And when it was 17-17 and we stopped them boys and we got the ball back, my brother-in-law, he said he messaged me. I don't know. You're probably not gonna be able to see it. Yeah, you're probably not gonna be able to see it. But he said, y'all better win this. And I said, we got this. Don't worry, we got it. And then next thing you know, 2 plays later, Cam Sims with the one-hand catch, and I was like, I told you. I fucking told you we got this, man. I told you. I knew it. There's no way we're going to stop. Our defense is playing 2 lights out, and we're giving our offense too many chances, and we finally found out what we needed to do that we didn't do in the first half, which was J.D. McKissick, we weren't getting the ball to the outside. We weren't getting the ball to speedy guys. That's why Antonio Gibson not playing in this football game really hurt us. And we didn't get the ball like we normally do to shifty guys on the outside. That we just weren't doing that. We were running the ball up the middle with Peyton Barber, which I like. I want to run the football, but we're getting 1 to 2 yards there. We need to do something, which we normally throw the ball to Antonio Gibson on the outside. We finally started doing it with McKissick, and you saw what happened. We moved right down the field, just throwing the ball out to the outside and to the flat to McKissick, and they couldn't stop it. And then that's when we started getting our momentum in the football game on offense. But man, the story has to be the defense. Now, like I said, everybody's all the Ravens fans and everybody, they're sitting here saying, "Oh, I told you the Steelers were overrated or whatever." Man, they're still a good football team, and our defense is just coming into their own. And right now, it's crazy because coming into the season, nobody would have thought teams like the Redskins and the Washington football team and the Giants would be sitting here battling for the playoffs. And man, I was really, everybody, the talk of the town was, oh man, the Giants, they already have 2 wins over us and they just went out and beat the Seahawks. I mean, and the Seahawks are a good team, man, and it's hard to beat them. So props to the Giants for doing that. But man, look at us. Look at us, man. We didn't give up either. We said, "Oh, you boys went out there and did that. Oh, well, we'll don't worry. We'll show up too. We're not going to sit here and let the momentum from last week beating the Cowboys not come into this game." Now, imagine a world that our football team plays like we do in the second half of games in the first one. If we could see that just in one game, if we could just see how we finish and close games out in the second half, in the first half, we would be blowing motherfuckers out the water, man. Man, it's just so rough because, like, the past years, even when we had Kirk Cousins was notorious for not starting games quick. And if you even look at him, yes, of course, I have to bring him up for some reason just because he's in the past. But look at him. He starts even this season, he's notorious for starting slow and then coming on. And we're still, with Alex Smith, our football team is doing that. We can't start games off quick. I don't understand what it is. We're in, what is that stat? In Pittsburgh, the Steelers were 78-1-1 when they were leading with 14 points. We said, nah, F that. You're at 78-2-1 today, motherfuckers. Oh man, what a game, dude. And like I said, man, I'm not sitting here saying like I wasn't worried. I'm not sitting here saying like, oh, I knew this was going to happen the entire time. I did have a good feeling about the game. When I seen the Steelers play the Ravens and the Steelers game, that was just not even really a good game, to be honest with you. It just wasn't a technically sound game, and I was like, man, if the Steelers come out and play us like that next week after we're coming off this Thanksgiving game and we got that momentum, if they come out here playing us like that, nah, man, I don't care what their record is, I just don't care. I think we have the talent to win. Now, clearly our offense is, I'm still worried about the offense, still worried about Alex Smith, still worried about Alex Smith. Still worried about our run game. Still worried about our receivers. I mean, we got a lot to worry about. Logan Thomas. Imagine another world where we had Logan Thomas and Jordan Reed on the same team. That would be dope. I mean, we had Vernon Davis at the same time, which was dope then. But I said this earlier in the season too. Who does Logan Thomas remind you of? At least for me, a little bit of Jordan Reed. Of course, maybe he doesn't have the high point in catching the ball ability like Jordan Reed did, and it didn't look so flawless when he does it, but the guy reminds me of Jordan Reed, and he's staying healthy. He's available, and like I said, I'm gonna double down on this again. Of course, now that we're winning games, it's gonna be hard for us to go up there and get a top quarterback. So I want a tight end. I want the best tight end we can get. Now, of course, it goes down the board. Who's the best player available? But if there's like and I don't watch college football like that, so I don't know. But if there's like a flashy tight end, like clearly the best tight end in the game or something like that, and we have a chance to get him, I want a tight end in this draft because not only can he help in the run game and block, he can also catch passes. So not only are we just getting a receiver, we're getting a blocker too. So I'd rather go out and we're missing, and Logan Thomas is great, and he would be even way better if we had another threat in the tight end game that would also help the quarterback out. So that's my pick. That's what I want in the draft. Seeing that we don't have a chance to get one of the best quarterbacks, that's a huge question right now. Is Alex Smith the future? I mean, we all said no. I mean, I was like, that guy's never going to play again. Nor do I want him to play again. And now it's hard to sit here and watch him in the pocket being so scared at times. It looks, he might not be scared, but his body language shows scared. And he's happy feet everywhere. But so the question is, does he get better? In this off season, does he get more confidence? Does he heal better? Is he not going to be as afraid next year? So that's the question. What do we do at quarterback moving on? But right now, man, like I said, I've always been a huge fan of Alex Smith. I've always defended him in the past when he wasn't on the Redskins. I always defended him when people just, were talked down about him. I always thought he was better than people gave him credit for. And yeah, man, J.D. McKissick. Let's go through the stats here. We only had 45 rush yards. That's kind of pathetic. But they give them credit, man. They really stopped our run, especially up the middle whenever we tried to run with Peyton Barber. And also, Antonio Gibson was out. It might have been different if he was in. But Logan Thomas, 9 receptions for 98 yards and a touchdown. Cam Sims, 5 receptions for 92 yards. Cam Sims had a huge game. But really the story was the defense. Well, let me go through here again. Alex Smith, Terry McLaurin had a quiet game, but hey, man, a win's a win. I'm sure he's super excited about it. So Alex Smith, 31 of 46, 296 yards, 1 touchdown, no interception, sacked 3 times. Big Ben also had a good game until there at the end. I mean, he went for over 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception there to end the game. To my man, and I also gave John Bostic. I can't wait to replace him, man. Cole Holcomb is a beast. Let's just go to the defense, man. Cole Holcomb's a beast, right? He's a straight up beast. If we got to pair him with another beast there in linebackers situation, man, John Bostic is just slow to me. He just seems out of place all the time. On the one play, you remember when Big Ben throws it up over the middle, and John Bostic's there in front, and then it's the Pittsburgh receiver, and then DeShazer Everett, who had an up and down game, but DeShazer Everett's been around here for a long time. Love the guy. He's very physical. He comes up and hits the ball on the receiver and breaks it down and makes an incomplete pass. But John Bostic's standing right there, and he's just like looks so unathletic, and like he could have had a chance to intercept the ball, and he just like looks. I can't wait. But like I said, give the guy credit. Montez Sweat knocks the ball up in the air, and he caught it to end the game. So like I said, there was a few people. Cameron Curl had another good game. He got hurt, came back in. Our offensive line did well, but they didn't really get much penetration in the run game. But all comes down to the defense. Chase Young, Montez Sweat, they're going to be terrors in the NFL for a long time. And this is why when we couldn't keep a quarterback, or we couldn't get a quarterback situation that we liked, what do you do after that? You have to go out and build a football team, and what you want to do is be disruptive, build a defensive line, and that's what we did, and it's paying off. Now, we have a lot of young guys out there. We were starting this game, this NFL season. We were the youngest team in the NFL, playing the most youngest players, and it looks like now it's paying off. And also, I'll just end this. I'll end this video on this. Man, I'm on the Ron Rivera train, and I'm not going to get off. All right, this is, and I know that's hard. You know, we could lose all the rest of these games or whatever, but man, I think if you give this guy talent, we are in every game. People play for him. People want to win for him. And like I said, I've been on and off. I'm not sitting here lying. I've been on and off the Ron Rivera train all season, man. He's done some things, have some questionable calls, some questionable timeouts or missed opportunities with timeouts and things like that. There's just been times where it has, But hey, man, I mean, he's had a rough going this year. You know what I mean? But what he's doing is showing up, and he wanted to play the young guys. The young guys are playing, and also I think something to do with playing the young guys. They don't have as many injuries or existing injuries, and I think that's why we're pretty healthy when it comes to our football team compared to teams of last. Because we've been known to be riddled with injuries, and coming into this game, our injury report wasn't all that bad and everything, and I think that comes down to another reason why, you know, playing all these young guys, might have something to do with it. So I think that might be kind of in our favor and against us at the same time, because you know, these guys still need to learn things. These guys are learning on the job, which can't always be good, but they're still out there playing. They're still healthy. They're out there playing. And so yeah, that's basically where I'll just end this video. I'm a Ron Rivera believer after these last two games. How can you not be? Yes, I think the Steelers were a little overrated. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You saw the stat: 78-1-1 when they were playing in Pittsburgh with a 14-point lead. We said, nah, F that. That's 78-2 now. And that reminds me of a game when we went up to the Seahawks and won a couple years ago, and it was like a crazy stat like that too. Like, they never lose there, and we went up there and did that. And our team wasn't all the best then either, but we went up there and did it. Something about us, man. And like I said, it's not the NFC least anymore, man. Our teams might have been shaky at the beginning of the season, but we're learning how to play good football now. And now, back-to-back primetime games on Thanksgiving. That was the most viewed game. I saw this stat the other day. The Thanksgiving game was the most viewed game. Our game versus the Cowboys was the most viewed football game of all year, by far. So the entire nation got to see us whoop that ass and get to see what our team could be when we play to our potential, and our defense. People got to see it yet again here in primetime. Again, people get to see what our defense can do. 6 times, six plays in a row on the 1 yard line, we stop these boys and get the ball back, man. That's huge. Let's go. Hail to the Washington football team. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.